This video now is going to look at all the columns that we need to know for GCSE. In some of the pre-GCSE videos we've already looked at units, tens, hundreds, and you've probably got to know thousands, but we're just going to go through all these now to get an idea of everything. Just made a simple number by here. 1,234,567.809, and if you didn't get that, we're gonna go through it. I've separated the columns up by lines. Obviously when you're writing this, those lines wouldn't be in there. So the first column is the millions column, and the value, because there's a 1 in there, if we're just talking about that one, its value would be 1 million. The way to tell if it's the millions column is that after that number you should have 6 other figures. So just 1 million would be 6 zeros, or in this case, remember to forget about the numbers at the other side of this decimal point by here. We've got 6 other numbers, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, so we know this is the millions column. After the millions column, we have the hundred thousands column. So this 2 by here is worth 200,000. So far, we've got 1,200,000. It's a good idea to put the commas in because it helps us to find or realize which columns are which a bit faster, but it's not 100% necessary. The 3 then is in the 10,000s column, so by here this 3 is worth 30,000, and the 4 is worth is in the thousands column, so it's 4,000. It's worth 4,000. So far we've got 1,234,000. Notice how I've put an and between the 2 and the 3. 234,000. It's important to remember these things because in a GCSE exam you might be given a number like this and asked to write it out. So if you forget that and, you'll lose marks. The next is the hundreds column. In this case the 5 represents 500. Remember again that we need an and in by here between the hundreds and the tens, just like we needed it in between the 100,000s and the 10,000s. The 6 is in the tens column, so it's worth 60, and the 7 is in the units column, so it's worth 7. So far we've got 1,234,567,000, and now we come to the decimal point. Now the decimal point shows us numbers that are below 1, and we'll come to do decimals in more detail. But the columns represent different amounts, just like they do on the left hand side of the decimal point, but we don't say the amounts that they're worth. When we're talking about this number or describing a number that is to the right of a decimal point, we just say the numbers. So the first column is worth tenths, a number split up into 10 equal parts. So the 8 here is worth 8 tenths, but we don't say and 8 tenths, we would just say 8. So 1,234,567.8, not 0.8 tenths. I've let's quickly swap the 0 for 1 here. This 1 then is in the hundredths column. Notice how the columns are becoming 10 times smaller. So the first column on the right of the decimal was tenths column, then a hundredths column, and then the last one is going to be the thousandths column. So we've got 9 thousandths. Remember, when you're talking about the numbers to the right of the decimal point, we don't say 8 tenths, 100th and 9 thousandth or 819 thousandths. We just say 819. So in all, this number is 1,234,567.819.